Welcome to another edition of Bowie TV Sports Spotlight. During this hour, we're bringing you highlights and more from our shows focused on all things DMV sports. Please be sure to follow us on all social media platforms. First up, Pitt Sports Zone. We share coverage from Morgan State University's Football Media Day. Next up, we catch up with the Washington Mystics post-game press conference after their game against the Seattle Storm. Then lastly, we catch highlights and press conferences from the Battle of the Beltway matchup of the Baltimore Ravens versus the Washington Commanders in the last preseason game before the start of the NFL season. Stay locked in, and as always, enjoy this week's episode of Bowie TV Sports Spotlight.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the 2025 Morgan State Football Media Day. I am here, Denise Thompson, Associate D for Strategic Communications, Brand Advancement, and we have Coach Damon Wilson here today, who will begin with an opening statement. After that, we will then have open for players to answer questions. Once all of the questions are done here and it begins to slow down, then you guys will have availability to do one-on-ones. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Denise. Welcome. We've been getting after 2 weeks now in training camp, getting ready for our first game against South Alabama. The guys have been doing a really good job. We had to finish up with a scrimmage yesterday. So a lot of positivity coming out of the ball club. Defensively, guys are flying around making plays. Offensively, we've seen some young guys step up and show their athletic abilities as well. So we're getting ready to go into one more week, and then we're getting to game week to take on South Alabama. We're really excited about where we are right now.
Jeremy, Morgan State Radio. I'm wondering if you could compare and contrast the depth on this particular team's roster when compared to other teams when you first arrived at Morgan State. Just how are we depth-wise?
That's a great question. When I first got here, I think we had 48 guys on the roster total. So we had to fill some holes really fast before we kicked off that first season. But right now, I would say at certain positions, we are at our most talented room. Probably is our defensive line room. We have 21 guys that reported to camp. Offensively, offensive quarterback room is a pretty competitive room this year as well. So I think we're deeper than we've been in the past. We've been able to develop a lot of the young talent that we were able to recruit since we've been here. Some of these guys up front now are young guys. Some of those guys are sophomores. So these guys are now leaders of the ball club, and we're looking at those guys to lead our program.
Coach, talk about the competition in each room. Where is it most competitive? Where would you like to see it get better?
Like I said, defensive line is probably the most competitive. We probably want to play 9 to 12 defensive linemen in the game. These guys, we have to replace Elijah Williams. Elijah had a lot of production last few years, and it's probably going to take 2 to 3 guys to equal out his production. But we have a lot of guys that in that room that really getting after it on a daily basis and pushing one another. Once again, I mentioned the quarterback room. We brought 6 guys in that into camp, and out of those 6 guys, 4 guys are really showing that they have the ability to lead the ball club. Now we have Kobe here with us today, and Kobe's had a great camp thus far. Running back room is another room that I think we have some talent in. Just want to stay healthy in that room. And offensive line, we brought 19 guys into camp from an offensive line standpoint, and I think if we stay relatively healthy there, we'll be in pretty good shape.
What you talked about how strong that quarterback room is. Just kind of talk about what that competition has looked like to this point at the name to start.
It's been really competitive. Those guys at first were taking turns, having great days, and Kobe probably has stacked the most days consecutively together. And so Kobe is kind of the leader right now in that room. Another guy we picked up this offseason, transferred from University of Maryland, John. John has had a really good camp with us, and Ray Moore, quarterback from down the road at Maryville High School, who we redshirted last year, has had a really good camp. And last one is Josiah. Josiah, another freshman we brought in from Air Force Prep, has had a pretty decent camp. All those guys have different skill sets. The biggest thing is we know they can play athletically, but just getting them up to speed playbook wise, getting us in and out of good plays or bad plays, and just having fun playing the game. So when they're able to get to a point where they don't have to think as much and just play ball, I think we'll be in really good shape in that position.
Terrence Pitts and Push, Sports Talk Radio. What challenges, if any, have you faced so far, and how have the players responded?
Well, this offseason, well, not this offseason, this camp, it's been pretty smooth. Pretty smooth. We haven't had any major challenges this camp, which is a great thing for us. I mean, I was joking. We just had picture day today. That probably was the smoothest picture day we've had since I've been here. So little things like that make your days and things go well. But these guys are able to adapt and adjust with everything that's put in front of them. But for the most part, we haven't had any challenges this offseason. Anything that we dealt with last year, that was last year, we're not bringing into this year. So I think so far so good the way we started camp.
Okay, I'll go again. When it comes to players coming in and leaving and whatnot, whether it's transfer portal or recruits, high school students coming in, how have the new players adjusted to the system and team culture?
Pretty good. We haven't had a lot of players leave the program that we count on, which is great. That's hats off to these guys for keeping the guys in the program, the guys wanting to be here, which has been good. But as far as bringing transfers in or bringing new guys in, it starts with these guys. Is welcoming them in. Tyler's a guy that we brought in this past season and this past spring, and he's hit the ground running. They welcome him into the locker room. He's here at media day. That tells you a lot about what we think of him and how he's been doing since he's been here. He's a graduate student. He's been at a couple different universities, so he knows what it's all about. It's a local guy, and he's looking forward to the opportunity to lead our offensive line. And he's going to be a guy that we count on a lot. So I think them having the ability to adapt and adjust and deal with change and welcome new guys into the family is really going to help us. That's one thing that we talked about this offseason, was everybody getting to know one another. Spending time with one another, really, learning who the siblings are. Learning some things that they like to do, what they don't like to do. I think those are the things that's going to help us get through this long season.
Coach, you also mentioned that you guys could possibly have the best special teams unit in the conference. Is that strictly kicking, or is that the return game? Is that kind of a culmination of everything?
So, yes, I'm knock on wood, but I think we're really talented in that area. Shane Messenger is our starting punter. He's a guy that averages somewhere around 40 yards a punt, and we anticipate him to do that. Malik Leatherberry is our punt returner. He's a guy that I think is one of the best in FCS. You bring back Keith Jenkins, who was an All-American kick returner. Jason Collins has the ability to return kicks as well. So it's going to be a situation where offensively we shouldn't have to go 80 or 90 yards. We should be able to cut the field in half with our returners. Then with our kick game, I think we should be able to pin teams back. And we also brought Alex Amaya, a local kid from DeMatha, who I think he's going to be able to have about 80 or 90% touchbacks on kickoff. So that's going to help our defensive guys and make the teams have to go 70-plus yards per return.
How much easier does that just make the game for you all? Just having the field position to start.
It makes it a lot easier. That's how I started in this business with special teams and running backs. And I understand the importance of special teams. And that's why we invest in those guys, and those guys as a unit all have over 3.0 GPA. So those guys you don't have to worry about academically. Those are going to be the guys on the field early, on the field late, getting that work in. They're not going to have get a lot of recognition unless, of course, you miss a kick that lights on you. But when you make a kick like Chris did last year in a Norfolk game, and one of the reporters asked me his name after the game. We got a nickname for him, so I didn't even know his biological name until after the game. I think everybody knew. So it's a good situation, and those guys understand their responsibilities and understand how important they are to us as a ball club.
Coach, talk about blending the mix of new players every year now. That's a thing. And how do you manage that when you almost have a rotating cycle of players these days?
That's a real thing. One thing that we've been in this thing for some years now, and didn't have to worry about that years ago. But now that's a real thing. And I think if you establish your culture, you establish the important things, and make sure you don't bend off those things, the guys that come in and buy into. We're really, really deliberate with the guys that we do bring in from a transfer standpoint. But you might be a good football player, but are you a good person? What type of character does that person have? So we want to make sure we bring in the right fit. We had some guys here that we were entertaining from the transfer portal, and we decided to go another direction just because maybe when we got them up on a visit, one of the players said, "Hey, coach, he's not going to be a good fit for us," or it's something that we just felt as a coaching staff. It's a unique situation, but once again, we've been very fortunate to keep our guys that we wanted in-house, to keep them in-house. I think we lost one starter last year to the portal, and we wished him well, but all in all, our guys have been returning and playing here at Bowie State.
Coach Wilson, do you take comfort to celebrate preseason selections? If so, what are your thoughts to many of the preseason picks from the sweeping the MEAC, whether it's offensive defensive player of the year, whether it's special teams, whether it's Shane, as you said, whether it's Weatherbury, like Morgan has racked up preseason accolades and the expectation that they see from the program, of course, from the leadership following through player response. Do you take comfort in, or do you utilize, or do you build off of that within your team and your players?
I don't know if comfort is the right word, but I like these guys to get recognition that they deserve. But at the end of the day, it's not about what you do at the beginning. It's about being talked about in December. And that's always where I go. If you asked me that question 15 years ago, my answer probably would have been different. But I've been in a situation where we've been picked to finish last in the conference and we won the championship. And I've been in a position where we picked to finish third, we won the championship. So those preseason is just that, but it gives them an idea of what their peers think about them, what other programs, other coaches think about them. So that's where I think, it's beneficial to it. At least you know what your opponents think about you. Now, when you talk about expectations, when you have certain expectations, it brings on responsibility. Now, just your responsibility to live up to those expectations. Because right now it's nothing but preseason. But if in December they still talking about Morgan State and talking about some of these individuals up here, I mean, we've had a great year.
What's going on, Coach?
That's too much.
If you can in one word, can you describe the team that you have this year going into this season? What would that be and why?
Resilient. Some of these guys were on their staff, prior staff. And some of these guys, Eric Hunter was here before I arrived here. So these guys have seen some ups and downs. These guys have been very resilient. And but at the same time, they're family oriented. And that's what's going to, that's going to help us push through the season.
And lastly, if you can shed a little bit more, give a little bit more exposure to your coordinators and your coaches, because I believe, as a great head coach, you have a great staff, and the players respond to the coaching staff and to you, and it shows in the depths and the growth from your first year, and then last year went 500, and then of course this year I'm expecting. I know you have high expectations for the team. You can just shed light on your defensive and offensive coordinators as well, because I don't think they get enough shine and love as return.
You're right, and I'm only as good as my assistant coaches and all the other people around the support staff, operations, and everything else. But Coach Anton Sue been with me we probably coached together for 20 years, around 20 years now. He's our defensive coordinator. He understands what the expectations are, understands what, we feed off one another. Coach Apollo Wright, he's an offensive coordinator that I brought in last year. So last year was his first season as our coordinator here. And the growth that the offense has made from day one until today is very clear. So I'm looking forward to seeing the guys continue to get better and put a positive product on the field. But without the coordinators and special teams wise, Coach Benton Harrell, he's a guy who's been with us a couple of years now, and he gets after it pretty good with those guys. Once again, he has the best, in my mind, the best kicker and returners in the game. So we're anticipating those guys have a good game, good output on our ball club this year as well.
Awesome. Appreciate you, Coach. Good afternoon, everybody. We are here with the AD, the First Lady of Morgan State University Athletics, Dr. Freeman Pittman. How you doing today?
I'm doing all right.
If you can you talk about your experiences so far as being the AD for Morgan State, and what has that meant for you?
I'm going into my fourth year now. I can't believe it's gone by that fast. Watching this football team and this football program to grow from year one to now is amazing. And it's just a sign of where we are as an athletic department as a whole. I think all of our teams are on that cusp of winning.
Yes, ma'am.
Championships. They're already doing what they're supposed to do in the classroom and off the field and off the court. We've got our highest GPAs ever, our highest APR scores ever. And so now it's time to get those championships. So it feels really good right now. It's a great time to be at Morgan State.
And when you talk academically, because of course we're student athletes first, can you just highlight, what Morgan State has meant to you? Because part of my platform is giving a lot of media exposure to HBCUs, only and specifically because we lack the acknowledgement and we lack, the exposure that we so earnestly deserve. Can you just talk about, why Morgan State and, highlight the importance of the academic side first before the athletic side?
And the leadership means everything, right?
Yes.
I'm fortunate enough to be in an HBCU where President Wilson is the leader. And when I interviewed for this job, I asked to speak to the leader first, right? And so you know where a university is headed when you talk to a leader that has vision, leader who's invested so much into the academic side of the house for Morgan State,
Yeah.
and with the commitment to also do the same in athletics. And so to me, it was just important to have that well-rounded, all-around success at a university, and it was also my home, you
Yeah.
know. So my mom is an alum at Morgan. Many of my teachers, classmates from Lake Clifton High School are also Morgan alum, and this was the first campus that I stepped on as a child to get exposed to a
Yeah.
university. So my heart's always been with HBCUs, and ever since I got this job, it's been part of my mission not just to succeed here at Morgan, but also to help the HBCUs on the map.
Well, we thank you so much for all your great work
Thank
that you
you.
have done so far and look forward to more good things to come.
Thank you so much.
So my question would be to you guys, being returning starters, right, leaders on the defense, what are some ways that you feel that do you feel you have to do more leader as far as actively or maybe vocally and some of the things that may have been lost from different leaders who were there before to keep the same mission, because every year you guys are dominant regardless who leaves. So the standard being the standard, is that the same expectation, is there anything that you guys have to do or challenge yourself or were asked to do more as far as vocally in regards to the leadership of the defense?
You want to take it?
I say, me personally, from my position group, I said me becoming more of a vocal leader and leading by example. I said with Elijah being gone, me and Glasgow, we had to step up for the guys in our group. Show them like what's the right and wrong. We've been in the program. Show them the right and wrong. We've been in the program, so we know what's right and what's wrong. So I said we had to show them and like lead by example. So it's like you can't just tell somebody what to do. You gotta show them what's the right way to do it. So I said that's one thing.
If you can in one word, or if you can in one word describe this team going into this season and why.
One word. I'll say hungry for real, because everybody on the team got a purpose. Everybody we playing for the same thing. We playing for each other.
Yeah.
If I could think of one word, I'd probably just say intelligent. And I say that word only because we got, Coach mentioned earlier how the media day went smooth and all those things. You can look around. There's a lot more great guys on the team. A lot of things that we do on and off the field, and even operation wise, have been going smoothly this year. We haven't really had any hiccups, and in the past we've had a few at this point. So, I think I hit a button.
No, you go.
I think everything has been going smooth. The team is definitely, a smart team.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all, man. Look forward to this season.
Thank you.
My guys. So, one, I appreciate you guys for having every, practice game, the love that you guys show me. I definitely appreciate it. If you guys can just talk about going into this year, I know you talked about some of the things that you worked on. Well, actually, both of you talked about some of the things that you worked on coming into the season. What is the mindset? How do you feel mentally? Because, you have that feeling this is about to be a good year. How's your morale and everything going into this season?
Yeah, I'd say mentally I feel great. Just based off this fall camp, I've experienced and seen a lot of things that a lot of guys could do, especially in our receiver room. We've got a lot of guys who are versatile, can do a lot of things. We've got a lot of, tall guys. We've got a lot of guys who can go up and get it. A lot of guys who are, slot receivers, quick on their feet. And so, we've got a lot of playmakers, who are able to do a lot of things. And, just the mentality this year is very different. A lot of guys who are very hungry, obviously trying to make it to the Celebration Bowl. And so, we're willing to win a lot of games this year, make a lot of plays and, just get this thing rolling.
Yeah.
And then for you, man, how did it feel when you seen your name, in the preseason special teams? What did that mean to you? Because I think that while, yes, I think highlighting you on special teams is definitely a plus, but I don't think they've seen, that slant, catch it in open field, it's a wrap, It's bringing highlight to you in one way, but it can definitely give you where people can now see the total view of who you are as a player, not just on special teams?
Yes, sir. I mean, I feel like I got put on a pedestal for a second, you know what I mean? Like, I got appreciated for my work at the end of the day, because I really do put in the work day in and day out. And for them to really acknowledge that, it's a blessing.
Yeah.
I gotta keep working at the end of the day. I mean, never satisfied.
Yeah. If you guys can describe the team this year going into this season in one word and why, what would it be?
Say,
Oh, you
go ahead. I
You know
was
what
gonna say hungry.
Yeah. I was gonna say unique.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure. Definitely unique and receivable.
Yep.
Probably the most unique I've seen being here 3 years.
Appreciate you guys. If you can you just talk about the leadership of the team? Like how has that made it easy for you guys to really not worry about the optics of buying in, but just going out and playing?
I'd say, for me, like I mentioned earlier, just being able to, being vocal and everything and just having to speak up. I feel like that's something that I've worked on a lot. And, you could tell by the way we move as an offense. You got Jude, who's, one of the leaders over there in the offensive room. You could see just the way everybody goes about their business in the offensive room, with the receivers, with the quarterbacks. We've got a lot of great leaders in the quarterback room, and also, the offensive line. We got Danny Casillas, who's also there, leading his teammates, his O-line. And so I feel like we've got a lot of vocal guys in the offensive group, a lot of guys who are, willing to step up and, take this thing over, man, and just continue to go and win games this year.
Definitely. I appreciate you guys. Look forward to the season, man.
Thank you.
On those last three possessions, so the Slim three, the Shug three, and then the NECA game winner, what you liked just as it went down the stretch, what was kind of going through your head?
Yeah, I thought we did a really good job against Slim, as good as she is. And yeah, she made a big shot there, and then we had something in mind offensively, and they were really committed. Partly with Slim, really committed to take Sonya out of the play, and Shug's made some really big shots for us. She's had a really good season for us, so big time play there. And then yeah, NECA just kind of making another big play. I mean, there was just big shot, and that's kind of this level of basketball, right? Where it's just, good play after good play. And so entertaining game, especially seeing Kira and NECA going head to head, and just a good commercial, if you will, for the quality of this league.
Kira, for you, career high 30 points, but in particular, I want to ask you about the block on Slim. You seem pretty fired up. What was going into that reaction? What was going through your head? I guess the PG version, so you don't get in trouble.
I mean, I was plotting on how I was going to get her in this game, I must say. But no, I think my timing was way better today with just blocking it in the air and just helping after they had already went into their shot. So definitely glad I could have got it on her. But yeah.
Sydney, you mentioned Kira and NECA going back and forth. We've talked about Kira's growth kind of all season, but what was that next level that you saw from her as a scorer today that, helped her reach that career high?
A little bit of what we've talked about is like her decision making, like being just so on point, just like the spacing, reading, wonderful at the free throw line, and really just getting the shot that she wants. But Kira's quite a talent. I mean, quite a player, and it's been so coachable. And Kira and Kiki and Sonya, and just go on, and Steph and Shug and Jay, just so coachable. So I mean, the talent's there. She's healthy, thank goodness, and reading the game, and just she's always been competitive. You never have to gear her up to play or compete. But I think she's really the game's slowing down a little bit for her, and she's seeing what people are trying to do, and she's counteracting it really well.
Just one more from me. Sonia, for you, obviously you've guarded really good players all season, but today having Slim on you and you guarding Slim, what was it like, having that matchup be with someone who you're so familiar with, knows all your tendencies and vice versa?
Yeah, I think it was cool. It was fun. I mean, I love Slim. She was my vet. We had a really good relationship, and like you said, we both know each other really well. So I think, I mean, it was a good matchup. Yeah, it was fun.
Kira, go back over to you. First Mystic to score 30 points and 4 blocks in a game. You've talked about before how on the defensive side, that's really what kind of gets you going. Was that the case again today?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, first quarter, I was a little nervous. I mean, you see, that was our worst quarter. But I mean, Emily had talked to me, after the Connecticut game a little bit. Just, we're both similar in like defense kind of drives us. And, even when the offense isn't falling, just letting that kind of be something that, ignites you. And I think that's just what happened a little bit today for sure.
Was there a point at all where you realized that it was going to be a big night for you?
No. I wish I could see the future like that. No, I literally just took it possession by possession. The team did great with just keeping them with, one shot and pushing it, and that's what just really kept us in the game those next 3 quarters. So yeah.
Sydney, Kira brought it up, but what was the adjustment that you guys made in that first quarter? Seattle jumped out to a big lead and you guys were able to respond, and then you were with them for the rest of the game.
I think the players made the adjustment, which was just really communicating more on the court, like flat out, like we're going to be there for them. We're going to try to help with schemes and different things, but when they go out there, they're going to execute, but to execute it really well, you have to talk and work together. And I just thought we were really quiet to start. And then just about the rest of the game, it was all just calling out the schemes and trying to help each other. And they were super engaged. And it was, there were really, really good moments there for us defensively for a lot of the game.
For Sonia, when you see Kira having the performance like she is tonight, what's kind of going through your head of whether you're trying to get her the ball or whatever it may be?
I think exactly what you said, get her the ball. I mean, like we said, she played a phenomenal game. And with someone like her, with the presence that she has in the paint, and I mean, when her shot is falling, we want to get her the ball. Regardless if it's going in or not, we have that trust in Kira, and we know even if she doesn't shoot it, she's going to make the right play because she's grown in that area and she's become a playmaker and a passer for us. So yeah, get her the ball.
Kira, last one for you. Did you choreograph that celebration where you walked into the basket distinction?
See, I don't even know. Like, I just had a lot of energy balled up. I just felt like my head was. Yeah, I don't know, bro. Something wrong with me. So, I don't know.
Shakira, when you have a game like tonight, have you had the chance in general this season to kind of think about how far you come considering all your injuries and some of your struggles throughout your career and stuff, and now you're kind of showing on a big stage what you can do?
I mean, yes, what I've been waiting for is to just be healthy and learn through my mistakes, like just having that opportunity to be out there and continue to just get better every day, every week, figuring out what's something you can, tune in on or, capitalize on. Yeah, I just love being out there. Like that's what I want to do. So I'm just happy.
And Coach, another nice game for Steph off the bench today. Just wanted to kind of get your perspective on, what you've seen from her from the beginning of the season till now. Obviously she's a vet, but just her own growth too.
Yeah, I just think, hard work, humility, like that, eventually the game gets back to you. So, I know her game, her shot was really off, for, like maybe even up to All-Star break. It just wasn't the Steph that we all know. But she never stopped pouring into her teammates. She never stopped coming in to get her shots up and try to take care of her body. And now you see in this month of August, she's been red hot. They always continue to look for her. And she tries to help her teammates, so it's just awesome to have her in the locker room. And I know our players benefit, coaches benefit, and just really happy to have her be a Mystic.
Hello, hello, Bowie television watchers. You all are in for a treat today. It is preseason game 3 for the Washington Commanders and Baltimore Ravens, which means you get both Karita Parks, who is Bowie TV's Ravens reporter, and myself, Candy Waller, who covers the Commanders, giving you all a recap of preseason game 3, Ravens versus Commanders. We are at Northwest Stadium. The game has ended. I actually, being transparent, as you know, I love to do don't remember the score. And that is probably why. It is probably because I covered the Washington Commanders. Now, Karina,
I do remember the score.
Karina remembers the score.
I do.
And we're going to get to that in just one moment because I want to share with you all, we were trying to figure out what would be the theme for this show. And I said, you know what it probably should be? The Ravens have all of the depth and the Washington Commanders do not. So with that being said, Karina, what was the score?
The score was 30-3 in favor of the Baltimore Ravens. And like Candy said, that depth showed for the Ravens. It's been showing throughout the preseason. Aside from preseason game 1, I feel like there's just been a plethora of guys making plays. We saw Keon Martin. He got an interception. I mean, we saw Jay Higgins disrupt things, David Ojabo. I mean, the list can really go on. Rasheen Ali, Dearness Johnson. The Ravens have good problems on their hands.
So roster cuts are coming up. We may see the Baltimore Ravens and the Washington Commanders make some changes. Karita, who do you think on the Ravens maybe did not show improve today?
Someone who did not show improvement today? Gosh, that's a tough one because I just really feel like there was a lot of consistency between game 2 and game 3. I mean, I was a little hard on Devin Leary. You know, he still, to me, got some growth, but he made some improvements. It's hard for me to pick a guy who just didn't improve because I felt like they were pretty consistent.
So the Baltimore Ravens continue to do what they do best, and that is talent evaluation. As you all have heard me say, they give a master class every year in draft picks and free agency, now on the hand of the Washington Commanders. Little bit different there. You all have heard me share that the quarterback 3 position, which includes in that battle Josh Johnson, who is a former Baltimore Raven, other teams as well, but he was also with the Ravens, and then Sam Hartman, who is a second year in the NFL, but also second year in this program, in this system. He had a very tough day today, didn't he, Karina?
Oh, he did. He had the Ravens DBs looking really good out there. And I mean, Candy had mentioned it, and I think I said it would probably be a good game for the pass rushers and the DBs, and that's what happened. So she was on point.
I mean, and then we had to sit through Washington Commanders kicker Matt Gay missing a 53-yard field goal. Now, so far in preseason, we've seen him now miss a 49-yarder and a 53-yarder. Anything under 49, he's probably okay. But I'm pretty sure this still doesn't bode well with the Commanders fan base. We'll have to see if they bring in any competition from Matt Gay. On the other hand, Baltimore Ravens rookie kicker Tyler Loop continues to impress.
He does. I said earlier to the Ravens fans that you have to walk away from this preseason and even the offseason feeling good about Tyler Loop. He's made most of his kicks. Yes, there's been a few misses, and you can expect that. He's a rookie. I don't even think that has to do with whether he's good or bad. I just think that as a rookie, you have those moments. But overall, he made a 61-yarder, I believe, today. So he's just continued to show that he is not scared of the moment, which is something that I always said. I was like, we're going to see how good he really is when it comes to the moment. And so far, he's shown that he's not scared of it.
So, Karita, what are your biggest takeaways from the Baltimore Ravens preseason? We know that the starters typically don't play.
Right.
So from a depth perspective and just overall preseason training camp as well, what are some of your takeaways?
Yeah, I think overall, it really is the depth. There's just so much talent on this roster right now. And like you said, that is credit to the Ravens scouts. I mean, they picked some really good players. Last year, the depth wasn't looking like it is this year. So they showed improvement in what they've been able to pick. I think that they have a really good secondary. Right now, even with some injuries, they have guys that can, like Ruben Lowry, Keon Martin. I feel like he may have locked down his roster spot in these past 2 preseason games. I mean, quarterback-wise, I'm still iffy on the backup quarterbacks, but hopefully we don't have to see them, and Lamar Jackson is healthy all season. But I just think all around, there's not many weak spots. I mean, we do have to see how the backup offensive line shakes out, but overall, I think the Ravens have a good roster when it comes down to the 53-man roster, when we see who makes it.
Now on the Commanders end, it's like the starters, and then I hope no one gets hurt because this is it's not what they are dealing with up in Baltimore. So it will be interesting to see who makes the 53 and then the practice squad. It'll be interesting to see if the Commanders bring in any players who were cut from other teams, because Dan Quinn did mention that in his presser that these next few days do include potential acquisitions. He mentioned potential trades. So you never know what happens, but we do know that the Commanders will keep on digging until they get the right fit, get the right performance. Overall, listen, I think the Baltimore Ravens had a great preseason. The Washington Commanders, not so much. But but we only got, 2 more weeks?
2 more weeks till the season starts.
And then the season starts. Week 1 for the Ravens, it's the Bills.
Back in Buffalo, where the season ended. So that should be a lot of fun. It's a Sunday night game, so I'm sure everybody will be tuned into that. And where will the Commanders be?
The Commanders will be right back here at Northwest Stadium facing the New York Giants, a division game on a Sunday afternoon. So we hope you enjoyed this recap. Stay locked in on Bowie TV on Comcast channels 190 and 1097. If you're watching this, hopefully you're already subscribed. And if not, go ahead and subscribe because you don't want to miss anything we have in store for you all. Thank you so much, and we'll be talking to you soon.
Anybody emerge that kind of like maybe open your eyes a little bit that helped make that decision a little bit easier?
We knew that, like I said, just honestly, just the competition of it all. I don't know if like emerging, but we were pretty confident, going into the camp, John, what we'd see and how we'd go. And so when the opportunity, with Adam and team to, go that way, that seemed to make the most sense. And, like from a fit and the whole thing for it. So it made sense.
Hey, good afternoon, Coach.
Good afternoon.
Ollie is a player that kind of stood out to me during the course of the game. Can you just kind of talk about his performance specifically tonight, but just overall?
Yeah, one thing about playing linebacker and behind the line of scrimmage, you want to see guys who can play square and tackle. And that is one thing from him, really instinctual. So I like how he can do that. He's had a good run here on the special team side of things. He is really just improving as it's going. So he's worked really hard from the time, the mini camp ended to going into the training camp. He's really somebody that's absolutely going for it.
And then running back Chris Rodriguez obviously had a really good game Monday night, but then today and then the little bit of work that he got, ripped off a couple of explosive runs again. How encouraging is that for you to see towards the end here of preseason?
Yeah, it's important for us. And that part of the offense really takes the most work. It's the traps, the combination blocks, getting downhill. And so oftentimes the throwing game is ahead of the running game just from how you practice and train. So going into the games, we wanted to get real looks at it.
For you and Adam Peters, what happens from now till Tuesday at the deadline?
Yeah, this is a challenging time for us. You have to, make difficult decisions, but we've been meeting a lot, leading up until now. So we watch practice together every day. We, spend a lot of time. And so the evaluations keep going. And then, we're just talking now what time we're going to go watch it together tomorrow. Oftentimes we'll watch practice or a game and it's a conversation about a player. It's our time to spend together, talk about the team, what we would do, contingency planning, 53-man roster, 70-man roster. And then, of course, from his side, then there's acquisitions or trades that go into all those. So it is a busy time, Nikki, for sure. But we just, like most things, big decisions, take our time and work our way through them. But the game will be another one to go. And certainly there were some guys today that impressed me. Antonio Hamilton was another one that played physical. I was so pumped to see Jordan McGee out on the field today. He is such a good linebacker. And so for him to get back out and get some playing experience today, I thought that was really important. But we go through the next few days together and, just kind of make sure going through all the looks and where it's at. And then as it gets in from Tuesday to Wednesday, slight changes take place then too.
And you've had Sam Hartman and Josh Johnson compete for a third quarterback spot. Does that indicate you're set on having 3 quarterbacks? And what do you think of their performance in general in preseason?
Yeah, we haven't decided from 3 in practice squads and those types of things yet, Nikki. But I think what do you find when you get a lot of quarters and that type? So when Marcus being out, that created more playing time, and so just like we were saying with the whole team, they got more ops to play than they normally would have, and so I think those are important parts of the evaluation as it goes into it. But as far as numbers in terms of how many, we haven't finalized any of those things yet.
Dan, as you get to Tuesday and try to work out the roster, how much does draft status impact keeping guys if it gets to a tight situation?
Probably early it does, but not later. Meaning like early picks, I could see that, but not as much on the later side. One thing that we really stand for here is the competition, and that's been Adam from the very beginning. And we knew that was the case going in. There wasn't going to be this or that. That's how we stand for how we do things. So, I would say not from you can't rule that over a performance, based thing.
With regards to Luke McCaffrey, it seemed like it was an emphasis to get him the ball. Looking at his entire journey this year from OTAs to now, where have you kind of seen him grow the most, or where do you think he still needs to maybe take that next step?
Yeah. One, we've pushed him in 2 spots, which he's definitely capable of handling, both playing outside and inside. The things that I've seen improve for him, is the route, and the precision doing that, the footwork that goes with that. He's always been one hell of a competitor. He's got punt return background, kick return background for us. So we like all the things that Luke brings, but it's really the competitor that, kind of sets it apart, Ben, in that way. But I do like the versatility that he does outside to inside. I thought it won't maybe show up all the way on the stat sheet, but he's made an impact on the team side. Last week, I thought for him covering kicks, man, I felt it.
Don't have to ask you where Terry is. We saw him today.
Away.
I guess, was there any difference why he was here today, and what does it mean to have him around?
Yeah, he had just based on how the calendar went from big work in yesterday, so not today, different than last weekend. So that's how it did. Kind of the way that his workouts, fell with the game and the calendar. But yeah, it was awesome to have him here today as well.
With Bill, was his not getting in there strictly a matter of just wanting to rest him, or is there any sort of caution with the shoulder still?
Yeah, we just wanted to use all the caution we could to make sure that he's hitting it good, and at that spot, I think we all recognize it's a pretty physical spot, and so it's a deep crew for us at that position. So we thought we haven't seen enough from Kaz and Felt in some of those ways, and though by design we said, okay, let's feature them more today.
And it looked like Noah Brown got a pretty good workout pregame.
Yes.
Maybe more than we've seen him do. What did you see there, and is he getting pretty close to being able to go full go?
Yeah, I was really encouraged by what I saw today too. He is such a competitor, so to see him full speed, making all the stops. You've heard me use the word decel, how aggressively he can stop, and that's what makes playing the position so unique. Not just the speed to get over the top, but all of it. But he really looked like himself today, and so I asked him afterwards where he was at and how he's feeling, and he really felt strong, and the workout looked really strong too.
Really happy for, proud of the young guys, the way they played, the guys who played, they brought it, they held the standard in a real strong way, ran the ball well, protected the ball well, got the turnovers. Our defense gave up some yards early, and we got our run defense tightened up a little bit, which is good to see. Our special teams was really outstanding, so it's a good way to finish. Got a lot of tough decisions to make, for sure, over the next couple of days, and we'll see how it shakes out. What question do you have?
John, like you said, I know the official decisions come on that Tuesday, but a guy like Keon Martin, how much did he help this case again?
Yeah, he played well. He keeps making big plays. That's something that is accounted for sure. And I think he played sound as well, did things the right way. So he's played just like that the whole camp.
Did you like the INT or the vice block?
I think I might like the vice block even better. You see that?
I did.
That was impressive. The whole sideline was fired up on that. Yeah. We work hard at that. That was impressive.
John, obviously turnovers have been an emphasis throughout camp. For today, I think just throughout the preseason, just how pleased have you been with the guys kind of responding to that challenge?
Right, it's been intentional. I mean, it's been something that we've been thinking about, talking about, drilling, practicing, trying to make sure we try to make it happen. Try to challenge our offense as much as we can because it's good for your offense too to protect the ball. work against each other in that way, and I thought it showed up today, just like you want it to, just like you hope it would. And now we got to continue down that road, maybe show up in the regular season.
John, we know the run game is so important to you guys, but the first 2 drives, it just seemed like that was a huge point of emphasis, and you did it very successfully. Just what did that mean to see, your depth guys carry that out?
Yeah, I mean, it's just important to be able to control the line of scrimmage. Running the ball obviously is something that's been important here for a long time, and I think it's established that we're going to play that way. So to see it happen in the preseason is a good thing. We didn't do as well last year in the preseason, but we still were able to turn it around during the season. But we have a good foundation right now. But we're going to see some really good fronts. We're going to see some run defenses that are loaded up against us, and we want to try to find a way to run the ball anyway. That'll be important to us.
John, a follow-up to the turnovers. Trenton Simpson helped force the 2 of those. How do you think he's handled his responsibilities and everything that's been asked of him this summer?
I think Trenton's really made a big step this year. I just feel like the way he's processing the game, it's been a big step. He's a guy who was an All-American running back in high school, went to Clemson and was learning to play defense all along, and came here, and I think you can see that the talent was evident. But this year he's really taken a big step in terms of just keeping it simple. Maybe it's slowed down. Maybe his brain processes faster, so his game has slowed down just a little bit, and he seems like he's very comfortable.
Did you like how Luke responded now that he's officially?
Well, we wanted to get him a long field goal, so we're going to try it back there at 63, I think it was, before we hit the screen pass, and then we got the screen pass. And went backwards again. We get him over 60 yards, so see how well that worked out for us. But it was a great kick. It was nice to see.
There's still a lot of things I need to clean up, but I think overall it's been well. Just being able to experience what it feels like to be an NFL player has been enough, because I've just been soaking in all the experiences, all the challenges, all the fun that we have. So overall, I think it's been great.
Kind of what have you taken from these first 3 games from your NFL career?
I'll probably say the biggest thing is, these dudes are bigger, stronger, and faster, of course, and just the game of the speed is just so much more faster. Of course, the competition is going to go way up because these are guys' jobs, So there's people competing for a job, and I think that brings a little bit more of a competitive edge, just because it's your job. So so we've been able to go out here and compete against each other and go against these other teams, and it's been great so far.
Mike, you've shown a lot. Talk about how special the defense could be. You have 3 games underneath your belt. What's really stood out about this defense?
We're attack, and I think when you have guys that are able to attack and you have a defense that schemes up to where the attack players can attack, that's all you can really ask for. And I feel like schematically, the way that this defense is built, it's a lot of history behind it. And they've done a lot of research and been able to dig up the oldest of files and try to put everything together at once. And I feel like Zach did a great job of just combining what's been here also with what he's brought here. So I think
Mike, you've shown a lot this preseason and throughout August. Was there any conversation about whether or not you would play in the 3rd preseason game? Was that something you wanted to do or didn't really care?
There was no conversation about it. I just knew that, if I had the opportunity to, of course, you want to go out there and capitalize what I can do. And but as the other stick of it, it's like if I came out here and they told me that I wasn't, then I was just going to try to prepare for the Bills. But so I did play today, which I think was great for me, just to build up my football endurance and just get a better feel for the defense for another game. So I think being able to dress up and play this last preseason game has been great for me.
Mike, what do you think you could take from the preseason as you head into regular season?
I would say just how the whole how can I put this? Just how the whole program and how everything is built, and just like the schedule, like the time we wake up, what time we lift, certain practices, just having a regimen every day. And that's probably something that I've been building up to since I got to the league, and something I'm just going to continue to do as well.
I mean, it's a good feeling, like, especially, like, they love the Florida boys here. Like back at home, they say the Broward County Ravens, so y'all know they got Lamar Jackson and Zay Flowers, so they brought me in, and they've been treating me like family ever since, so I've been enjoying it, so yeah, I've been enjoying it.
On the interception, it looked like you were kind of reading the quarterback's eyes the whole play. I mean, did you know that play was coming? You just kind of walked me through that.
I mean, yeah, it's a play that we've been going through all week. I kind of figured. But, yeah, mainly just reading the quarterback eyes. The quarterback told me everything I needed to know since we was in a zone defense. And I just executed the play, and he threw it right to me. So I was grateful for that.
What's kind of going through your mind in that moment?
Catch the ball. That's it. Don't be one of them DBs that be like, you drop it. And then everybody be like, you should have caught it. Just catch the ball. Once you catch the ball, everything else will go smoothly after that.
Keon, what do you think you've been able to show throughout camp and in these past couple preseason games?
I feel like I've just been able to show the player that I've been. In my opinion, since high school. I've been the same player since high school, since college. But just my savviness, my competitive edge, chip on my shoulders. So I've been the same player ever since high school. Now it's starting to be seen on a bigger light. So that's all that I've been showing since the start of camp.
How long did you dream about getting your first pick six in your career?
World famous Key.
I think you dream about it a lot. Shoot, high school, middle school, NFL touchdown. But I think I did visualize it. Like I always talk to my dad, he always say visualize you making plays. And I visualized it last night. I ain't visualized the TFL, but I did visualize it. I didn't know how it was going to come. It kind of came in a different way in my mind, but at the end of the day, it still came with a pick six.
How much did your dad influence you to be a former player?
Man, my dad, he influenced me a lot. I ain't got number 21 right now, but that's number I wore my whole life. And that's the number he had. So just him, like I talk to him before every game, talk to him after every game. So like he been a huge influence for me. He been in my corner, my number one supporter. I can't ask for a better father.